So I'm taking a couple of minutes just to do this today because I know that I have to get this out there. This has been the most unique morning. So I'm real estating today, and I might not look like it, but I am. And I have my favorite number 17. My kids will always laugh about this. Like, I got 17 things to do, and I do today. I was late getting to the gym. I'm doing this whole discipline thing, and I put this into action a while back, and I don't want to miss. And sometimes I do give myself permission. Hey, that didn't work this morning. And this morning I was running so late that I thought, I'm not going. It'll mess up the rest of the schedule for my day. But I had promised myself. And so I kept watching the time. I was like, okay, 45 minutes. That's it. I'll do 45 minutes. I get myself out the door. So I'm about an hour and 15 minutes later than I normally go. So my group of people that I usually see at the gym are literally heading out the door. A couple of them like, Susan, hey, I'm doing my workout. I'm watching the clock. I know when my next appointment hits. I know how much time it's going to take me to get ready when I get home. So I'm like very much doing that thing. But I'm listening to Bible scripture. I'm listening to my reading in the morning. I just immerse myself in all kinds of things that I know are setting the tone for my day. I'm climbing off of the treadmill, and there's a girl in a workout section. If you guys know Planet Fitness, they have like areas that they do for specific things that you're working on. And there's this one girl over there, cute girl. And I happened to notice her. And I think, okay, what am I going to do? I have enough time, a little bit of time for leg day. So I'm like, okay, I'll go over there and I'll do these, just 3 or 4 machines. I got 15 minutes left. I'm watching the clock. I'm focused. As I walk into that area, she looks over at me. She has her headset things on, and I've got earbuds in, and she says, so I go like, hey, what? And I have to pull them out. And she goes, I love your hair. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And so that, just a sweet comment, whatever. And I start working, and she does. And I sit down at my machine, and I look back over at her, and I don't even remember what I said, but I reached out again. All of a sudden, everything in me is like, I think I need to say more to this girl. But I don't know why. But I just feel like I'm supposed to say more to her. I say something. She's got her headset back on. She doesn't hear me. I'm like, oh, well, then I'm just moving on. I work out on that machine. I do the next thing. We circle back around, and somehow we end up at machines fairly close. And I can't tell you what I said first, but I knew I was supposed to talk to her. So we start talking. We have a conversation. And after the first few minutes of just small talk, hair, she says, I'm a cosmetologist. And that's why I'm looking at your hair, and I'm thinking, wow, your hair looks really good. And so kudos to Carrie, who cuts my hair. And one thing leads to the next, and she says a couple of things. She doesn't mention God, Jesus, or anything spiritual. And then I stop her and I say, are you a Christian? Are you a believer? Do you understand some of the words that you're saying, the power of what you're saying? Yes, she says. And from there, the most powerful conversation happened. She told me a little bit of her story. I listened. She told me what she's come out of. 30 days clean from weed. Almost every member of her family is addicted. She had a dream that God spoke to her in the night and showed her 2 separate scenes of who she was and who she had become. And she said, I literally saw it across my face. She said, I woke up from that almost in a cold sweat, and I knew that God was saying to me, this is not you. And you have to see who I've made you to be. Which reminds me of what her first sentences were. She goes, I'm just on this intense, like personal, deep journey to find myself and to come into who I was meant to be. And that my friend, is when I jumped in and said, hang on a second, are you a believer? That's how when she just was like saying that without doing all the, Christianese conversation or dialogue or words that we use. I was like, wait, you're a believer. And so from there, sorry, my nose is running. So from there, all these other things started happening. We get through, there's a couple of times that the Spirit's so powerful. She goes, well, I don't normally break down and cry. And I said, I'm not even a crier either. Y'all might not believe that about me, but spiritually, I'm a crier. I'm more of a crier than I used to be. And we just start teaming thing after thing after thing. Then she mentions kind of looking for a church. I'm like, I think I got your church. We talk about that. We exchange phone numbers. We take a picture. I'm like, I'm not losing track of you. And then she says, I said, I'm busy. I said, I'm not normally here at this time. I'm already gone. My group of people left this morning. Do you know I almost didn't come? And when you spoke to me, I'm watching my time and my clock, and I don't really have time. And then I spoke to you, but you didn't hear me. But I felt so strongly that we were supposed to have a conversation that I worked my way over here to you and opened another opportunity to talk because I felt so strongly. She in turn then says to me, when you were on the treadmill and I saw you and I'm looking at your hair and thinking, wow, this is just an attractive lady. She's fit. She's whatever she's saying. And she said, I knew I needed a way to talk to you. And she said, I was even arguing with myself in my head going, well, God, how do I say something? Do I just walk up to her and say, I think I'm supposed to talk to you? What can I say? She said, that's why I said something about your hair, because I felt like we were supposed to meet and we were supposed to talk. We finish this powerful conversation. We have prayer together. We take a picture together. We have exchanged our phone numbers. She's coming to my church on Sunday. And when we walk out the door of Planet Fitness, I had parked my car in another place. And it was cold. And all I wore was this today and this little. I didn't take a coat, a sweater, a jacket, no scarf, nothing. I was so cold. I was like, ah! I never move across the parking lot. And I turned my car off and I stopped and I looked over and there was another parking spot at the front row. And I went, I am going over there. So I did, parked my car, ran inside. You know the story. We are on our way out the door and her vehicle is parked directly next to mine with scriptures written on the window. We look at each other and she goes, can you say ordained of God? 100%. The entire thing, from the moment that I said, I'm not going to the gym today, I'm out of time. And I couldn't skip it to where we climbed in our cars, beaming, smiling, and waving and saying, I'll see you Sunday. This is what it's about when you're really living your life on mission, on purpose. These are the things that God does. If we're available, if we're listening, if we don't override him. I've been guilty 1,000 times. I'm trying to get better at it. This morning was incredible.